I don't like it. And I don't like it because it's not a book I would typically pick up. But again, me being on TikTok and me being easily influenced, no. And that's just all I have to say. No, I don't like it. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of All Things Diamond Snow. It's your girl, Diamond Snow. And in today's video, we are doing our March wrap-ups and our April TBR. So this month was kind of a crazy reading month for me. This is the first month that I dove into reading for real, and I feel like all of the picks are kind of everywhere. I don't know what I like, and maybe it's because I was reading the Ethic and Butterfly series and my mind has just been in love with that book, and now that I'm away from that series and trying to find my footing in reading, I don't know where to start. And of course, TikTok just gives so many recommendations, so I feel like I'm reading other people's faves and I'm just like, this book sucks. So yeah, all of that. But nonetheless, I read some great books this month. I also read some not so great books, but let's dive into it. So how I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna start with all of my physical books, and then I'm gonna go into audiobooks, and then that should be it. So the first book I have is Forever Is Now. This book is so stinking good, and if you watched my 24-hour reading vlog, this book was in it, and I'm just in love with this book. So I have my notes right here, so let me read. This book, what's the genre? I wrote it down. Young adult literature, okay? So it's basically, this book follows, I haven't read this book in a minute, so hold on. What's her name? Okay, so yeah, this book follows Sadie, and Sadie deals with mental health, and she is just going through a breakup when something else traumatic happens, and in addition to the breakup and the traumatic event, she just goes down a downward spiral of just anxiety, depression, and everything. And I remember picking up this book last year. I got this book from a bookstore, and all of the good reads come from a bookstore and not from TikTok hype, so that's what I'm learning. But I picked this book up and I grabbed it because when I was reading it, it was basically it was a lesbian relationship that she was in, struggling with anxiety and just basically overcoming it. And I just feel like this is so me. So the book was amazing. Sadie definitely has some challenges, and actually, you guys, I don't know if you can see, but I tabbed this book up. This book was so good. She has some challenges, and her family's just trying to help her navigate. Her therapist is trying to help her navigate. Friends are trying to help her navigate. And then she meets somebody else who's dealing with similar issues, who's trying to help her navigate as well. And she does a video blog, and that really helps her to open up and deal with the traumatic experience and her just coming out of her shell. This book is so good, and when I finished it, they had a freaking playlist of songs basically to read with the book, or that kind of give the same vibe of the book. This book is so freaking good. If you haven't read it, definitely check it out. Forever Is Now. And it had a pretty cover on it, but my dog definitely did bite the cover, well, the duster. So I don't know, I just can't stop raving about this book, and it's so near and dear to me, so it'd just be hard to open up and say everything that's about this book. But the feelings that this book, this emotional roller coaster actually that this book had me go through, I actually love it. So 10 out of 10, 5 stars, definitely recommend this book. So the second physical book I have here is The House of Eve. So this is another book that I picked up at a bookstore. I can remember the day. But a book that I picked up at the bookstore, and I read it, and I was like, oh, okay, this sounds really good. I feel like I was just in the mood to buy something that day. But anyways, it's been on my bookshelf since last year. But I saw somebody on TikTok read it, and basically she was giving her reviews or keeping us updated on the book. So I was like, oh, I have it. Let me read it. I did not like this book at all, especially after the previous book that I just went over, and then this one. This one is so traumatic, and I also have a vlog on this book. What vlog is it? It's my last vlog. I forgot the name of the vlog, but I just don't like this book. I feel like it's basically, you know how they wrote The Color Purple and then they came out with a remake? Like, what's the point of just the trauma? It's like always hearing about trauma that Black women go through, and I just wasn't in the mental headspace for this book, and I think that's saying it best. I feel like it's a good read. I do like the dual point of views, and that helped me to be able to digest the book more. I just felt myself getting angry, and that's just not a space I want to be in when I'm reading. So I did not like this book, but if you do, good for you. It was written beautifully, like nothing wrong with the book per se. It's just, yeah, it doesn't sit right with me right now. The next book, as you guys can see, these books are everywhere because this next book is The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. So I picked this book up again at a bookstore, a Japanese bookstore, and it was on Valentine's Day. And when I saw this cover, I was like, I have to get it. I have to get it. Because what? I love to get drunk, and then I don't know about saving no demons, but the demons had locks, so it was kind of cool. And a black girl on the cover. You guys, this book was such a good read and such a good palate cleanser. Like, love this book. Love, love, love. And I also did a vlog on this book as well. Well, no, I didn't. I did a TikTok, a read with me TikTok on this book, and I had so much fun. Like, it had so much fun drinking wine, reading this book, and helping sis save the demon, okay? I definitely helped her because I was there lit. But I love this book from page one. Like, it's amazing. And you would think, like, got drunk and saved the demon, like she's drinking something crazy. This girl's literally drinking wine and eating cheese. So, right up my alley. This book was so good. And the spice on this book, this book was so spicy. Cali freaking nante. Like, so freaking spicy, so freaking juicy. And I'm a spice girl, so I love this book. Love, love, love. The next book we have is going to be an audiobook, and it is Butterfly 5. You guys. So that's actually the first book I read this month, and I feel like, again, in a reading slump because I just feel so heartbroken that the series is done. I don't know where else to turn. Like, what do I like? I don't know. I love this series. But if you haven't seen all my rants on this series, I loved Butterfly 1. Loved Butterfly 2, hated Butterfly 3 and Butterfly 4. I feel like it was repetitive, self-sabotage in the love department. I hate that crap. But anyways, so I took a break from Ashley Antoinette, which is the author, and was like, I need to read something else. Like, this book is draining, this series is draining, these characters are draining. But like, my mom is listening to the series too, and I keep asking her for updates. And I'm like, let me just read the last one. And let me see if I like it. This book was so good. I feel like I was able to understand the characters or see them in a different light. It was like people were taking accountability and people were holding people accountable. And I just enjoyed that last book, and I'm happy that it left like a great taste on my mouth, like with the series just ending off like beautifully. Yeah, I feel like it's so good. So I don't know how to explain the book without going into too much detail, because it was like one book and then it was a series that had like 6 books, and then another series that has 5 books. So if I say something, it's gonna spoil it, but yeah, young love, immaturity, sex, like, you just have to read it. You just have to read it for yourself. And the last book I read was The Serpent and the King of Night. This book, I wanted to DNF it so many times, but I'm listening to it on Audible, so I'm just like, girl, just finish it. But I'm not finished it. I didn't finish it. I don't like this book at all. Like, I don't like it. And I don't like it because it's not a book I would typically pick up. But again, me being on TikTok and me being easily influenced, I saw a girl's video, right? And she literally gave one sentence on why you should read a book. And I would season my blood if I could to get this man to drink from me. One sentence she gave, I was like, ooh, that sounds good. In my little fresh self, it was a spicy one word. So I'm like, ooh, this book is about to be good with the vampires and the blood and the, ooh, no. And that's just all I have to say. No, I don't like it. Maybe if I would have read it instead of listening to it, I could pay attention more, because I really didn't like the audiobook and like the character's voice and stuff. But hey, it's just honestly not my cup of tea, so I had no business listening to it anyway. But that is all for my March wrap-ups. Let's get into the April TBR. So, following the theme of picking books up because I want to read it and stop being so easily influenced on TikTok, these are the books I picked up. Also, following the trend of we're not buying any more books right now. This is going to be a cheap hobby, and we're going to rent a book, then return it. This is what we have. So I got a library card, and these are the books I got from the library. I have Daisy Jones and the Six. I've been wanting to read this book so bad. It kind of came out, or I heard about it, when Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo came out, and I just love that book so much. And my favorite book talker gives this book 5 stars. This is not easily influenced like that. Like, this is my favorite booktuber, so of course I want to see what this book is about. So I picked up this book and I'm excited to read it. Then, browsing around the library, I found this book, Mexican Gothic, and it just sounds right up my alley. And I'm excited. I'm excited. This one. And then, browsing around, I also found this one, and I guess I'm in my Latina era, because this one is An Island's Princess Starts a Scandal. Is it giving telenovela? It definitely is, so pick this book up too. And in addition to having a library card, I'm also able to download books, audio books, and ebooks through Libby. And if you guys haven't heard of the Libby app, I'm going to do a whole video on that app. I also picked up a few books. Happy Place by Emily Henry, and I'm only on chapter 4, and I love this book so much. Another book that is on my TBR is, let's see, Don't Believe It by Charlie Donlia. It's a mystery kind of book. I don't know. I read the summary and it sounds really good. And it was saying something like, if you like, what's that girl, the lady who writes The Teacher and the Teacher's Secrets? Oh, what's her name? Ew, and I read that one. Dang, I can't think of her name. But if you like that and then like another mystery author, then you're gonna love this book. So I was like, okay, let's see what this book is talking about. So yeah, Don't Believe It, and not on Libby. If I finish everything on my TBR, I get to go to the bookstore and buy 2 books that I want. One is The Mountain Is You. I really want to get back into my self-help book series. Like, I'm a self-help girly and I strayed away from those books, and I really want to dive back into them, especially like morning time, starting the day off. So that is a book I want. And then This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, the first book that she came out with of the series. Like, I freaking love that book. So if I finish everything, I get to go to the store, Barnes to be exact, and buy This Could Be Us. And I'm so excited. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to my March wrap-ups and April TBR. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.
for half the cost of a recruiter with